Hey guys, thank you for watching. This is Breaking Burke. It is my YouTube channel about houseplants and gardening here in the desert of Albuquerque, New Mexico. In today's video, I want to share with you guys planting. I'm doing a dwarf pomegranate tree. I have two different varieties in my yard. One is a wonderful variety. The other is one that I grew from seed, so I get to name it. Haven't decided what I'm going to name it yet. This one here, like I said, dwarf, only supposed to get about 3 feet around. It says 30 inches, but one of my neighbors has one. I don't know if it's the same variety, but theirs is just about 4 feet around. So that's what I'm anticipating here. I'm leaving about 2 feet from my other side, so it has room to grow and it's not going to be encroaching or messing up other things. You do want to make sure you read the tags when you get them. If it says it's going to grow to 3 feet wide, that means that you want to plant it with 1.5 feet around it, free space, because what that does is gives you enough room for the plant to reach maturity. What I see a lot of times, and it's really sad, is people will plant something because it's small in the can and it's perennial, so it'll come back, but next year or the year after, this thing is 2-3 times the size, and I see a lot of complaining about, oh well, this plant, it grew bigger than I thought and it's taking something out. Well, it's not that it grew bigger than you thought, you just didn't anticipate the growth properly. Now on here, I'm going to read it. It says, keep moist the first week. Keep moist the first year, 2 times a year after. So I think that means 2 times a week after. It's kind of confusing. Anyway, this does say average mature size is 30 by 30, spacing 24 to 36 inches. Again, if you don't have enough space between them, they're just going to start fighting with each other and competing for space. This is a full sun plant, so that's why I'm choosing here, because one I have in the wrong space keeps losing all of the last year's growth, and that's what it blooms on. So I haven't gotten fruit off of my pomegranate yet. But I know it is possible here in Albuquerque, because I used to have clients who had tons of them, and we would get cases of pomegranates off of them. It says to make sure you plant 1 inch above ground level and dig a hole 2 times the width of the pot. Build a basin around and mulch and water thoroughly. Now I'm not going to plant above the soil level. I don't really do that because here in the desert where I live, if I do that, the roots are going to get cooked and the plant will die. So if we can't bury things deeper, which sometimes we do, I don't want to do that on this because I could risk rotting it. And I mean, it seems pretty healthy so far. There are, like you see here, some dry spent blooms that should have turned into a fruit, but I did get this from a big box store, so needless to say, it wasn't the best condition. Now you can see I did make the hole quite a bit larger. Let's see if we can even see that. And the reason for this is because you want to give the roots room to grow. These don't really produce huge, thick, fibrous roots. These are kind of more like hair-like roots, little tiny ones that just go out and search for water. That is another way you can tell how water hungry a plant is. If they're thinner roots, that means it needs more water. Thicker roots means it can store water in those roots and it doesn't need it regularly, although any plant does appreciate regular watering. So we're just going to get this and turn it out of its can. You can see it's not root bound at all. Just a few little roots hitting the sides there. So I think we are good on timing with this. Just smack it in the hole there. And backfill. Now remember, like I've said before, anytime you plant anything in the desert, it is important to water it in. Now I'm doing this in the beginning of the day before it gets too hot, because if I do this in the middle of the day with a full desert sun, it's not gonna make it. It's gonna take a toll on the plant because I chose to do it in the wrong time of day. So make sure, if you can, early morning, late evening, when the planting will be in the shade, because New Mexico sun is nothing to mess around with. I've suffered heat stroke a couple times in my life, and once you do, you are more susceptible to it. So always make sure, especially when you're outside doing the stuff in the middle of the sun or middle of the heat, that you yourself are staying hydrated as well. Heat stroke is no joke. Like, it's awful. So do your best for you and your plants, and I hope you got something out of this. Thank you for watching and have a great day.